Howdy everyone, Matt here. I got a question for you. How important do you think it is for a company to develop you as a therapist? Let's talk about it. All right, everyone. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Matt. I am Matt the PT, coming at you with another video on another topic of something in the physical therapy world. And this one is a kind of a curveball interview question. It is something that I experienced way back in my career. I've actually written about it a few times. First, it was published in 2017, and then that website is now defunct, but it was republished in 2020. And I have shared it with many of the students that I've had, and it sparked my memory because someone online was talking about a very similar thing. I said, you know what? I need to bring this up because I want to share it with all of you. So to set the stage, way back when I was applying for my first job, I had just got out of PT school a few weeks before, looking to get in there and start using that degree in my license. And I applied to a hospital system that was nearby. So I get the call, hey, we would like you to come in for an interview. So I go in there and I have an interview with like the overall rehab director. And this place had many different rehab centers in the area. So they had like inpatient, outpatient, aquatics, occupational. They had all of that. So we go around and we get to tour them and they give me some details about their hospital system. And then at the one center that I'm actually applying for the specific position in, they said, all right, we would like you to come in. Is it okay if we have a group interview? We just want to ask you a question, see if you're a good fit and this and that. And I said, oh, yes, I'm excited. So flash forward a few days, and we're sitting in there for this interview. And from what I remember, there were two PTs that worked there, a PTA, a occupational therapist, and a tech. And it's over lunch. So they bring in some pizzas and we're sitting at this big table and, we're making just, small talk, chit-chatting. And then after we have our food, they start asking me just some basic interview questions. And I feel like I'm doing well because I've been practicing this. You get those practice interview questions and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing really, really well. But then I'll never forget. There was the other PT who has not spoken a word to me since I walked in. And his body language gives off that he would rather be anywhere else. I mean, like this dude, like I said, did not talk to me walking in. He sat there looking straight ahead, sitting beside me, not talking to me. He looks at me and really sternly asks this question. What are you going to do for us? What are you going to bring to our clinic? And I'm going to tell you, I started sweating and my heart was racing. And I remember just what is all going through my mind of like, oh my gosh, what do I bring to this clinic? I'm a new grad. What does a new grad bring to this place? Like haven't taken any certifications. I don't have any continuing ed. I've only seen just a few hours of patients. But I was with my saying I don't really know. I got to answer a question. I got to answer. And I threw something out, and I can't even tell you how I actually answered that. And we went about the rest of the interview, but I'm going to tell you what, that question sat with me for so long. And even on the drive home, I was pondering that question. Like, how do you answer that question? Because I've never heard it ever asked on any interview. Never have I ever had that on anything. And over the years, I'm going to say, I didn't get the job there. They went with someone else, and that's probably going to be a talk with another time. But I ended up getting a good job somewhere and made friends, and it's led me to here. So everything worked out. But for a long time, I pondered that question. How do you answer that? How in the world would a new grad answer that question? Because I do see that's something easy if you've been practicing for a while. You have years under your belt. You have certifications under your belt. Oh, I bring this. I bring that. That's what I'm going to bring to your clinic, But what does a new grad bring in? Because think about it. If you're a new grad, what is it that you're going to bring? Like I said, you've probably not taken any continuing ed hours. You probably don't have any certifications. You have very limited patient experience, many times under the supervision of your CI. There's nothing really that you bring? And if you think that's an off-the-wall question, hit that like button. Back to the video. I know what you're probably thinking. Matt, tell us the answer. What is the answer to that question? Well, it's not as much of a statement. It's more of a question. It's taking that same question and turning it right back around and giving it back. What are you and your company going to do for me? How are you going to make me the best therapist there is? Now, I'm going to say that does sound kind of cocky. And you're like, oh, man, I can't believe you're saying that. But really think about this. You as a new grad, really, what do you bring? Honestly, nothing. No, you don't have a lot of experience. You compared to someone who's been practicing several years, you can't really compare. And not many of them compare. That's not a bad thing. You're a blank slate. But think about it. That company has the chance to help mold you, to help you grow, to be an amazing therapist. That company has the opportunity to say, we're wanting to develop an area. Maybe we want to grow an area. Are you willing to take some continuing ed courses and help us do that? Did you become the expert in the area? Really, there could be something. They could say, hey, maybe we're wanting to get more pediatric patients or more vestibular patients in. Are you willing to go through that coursework and be the specialist, to be the one that we get in? Are you willing to help, again, help us with marketing, help us have the best manual therapist or the best orthopedic place or the best outcomes for surgery? Are you going to be willing to help us do that, to help us be that top clinic that everybody wants to come to, that everyone's going to get these really good results? Is that what you're actually wanting? I even ask a form of that now whenever I go on interviews to say, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to continue to foster me being the best clinician that there is? Because it's very easy for me to say, oh, okay, yeah, do you just want me just to run people through exercises and then I just sit in a seat and keep it warm and just hammer out notes? Is that actually what you're wanting? Or are you wanting someone who gets people better, who keeps them educated, who want to come back in, whose outcomes are very high, who all the referral sources around just keep sending us patients because we have the best clinicians and we have the best clinic around? Is that what you're actually wanting? Then I'm going to ask you, well, then that's what you need to foster. Now, that can be daunting. I know, I understand. They can be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did. Now, I think it's actually a genuine question to ask. And I would put it back on the employers to say, yes, I do find that should be your responsibility to foster your therapist to make them the best ones around, honestly. And whatever that they offer you, and if they do answer it, I'm going to tell you this, get it in writing. Make sure it's time sensitive as well, because they can easily say, oh yeah, we'll send you for classes and do all that stuff. But if they don't ever tell you when, they'll just keep pushing it down the road. But say okay, no, all right, you want me to do these classes or you want me to do all this? Okay, when are we going to do it? How, why, what? Get all of that. So that was my experience on there. And that's something I just want to share with you. So if you ever get that curveball of a question, what are you going to do for us? What is it that you bring for us? Throw it back at them. Ask them, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to help me be the best therapist? I really think that is a huge thing with employers or clinics and companies, is that they should really invest back into their clinicians to help their clinicians be the best. Don't just throw it all onto us to say, okay, it's, you just do all the patients here, but that you just do all that. No, it should be on them to help foster an environment to make the best clinicians that there are. Let me know your thoughts and beliefs down in the comments. Let me know. Did you ever experience anything like that? What do you believe about it? Just share it down there in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button, and please subscribe to the channel if you're new here. It doesn't cost you a copay. And like always, take care of yourself. Take care of your patients. I'll see you next time.